Hello, this is Steve from Beto's Leatherworks. Today's projects are, we've got a bunch of Florsheim to do today. We've got these shell Cordovan Yumas. We've got 624s, 604s. We've got a few pairs of 602s. And also we've got a pair from Sears brand. They're kind of cool shoes, so we're going to enjoy doing those also. All right, let's get started. Now we're going to start with these Yumas right here. Now, Yumas are basically a moccasin style design. It's not a Goodyear welt. You've got the uppers, basically they tuck underneath. You got a leather midsole that's Blake stitched. Then the sole gets outsole stitch. So we'll call that a rapid Blake stitch is what the proper terminology is. This was repaired before. They did a half sole. There's a seam right here. Heels, but we're going to remove everything. We're going to start fresh. The only thing we're going to salvage is basically the uppers. We're going to put a new leather midsole. We've got JR soles. These are non-stamped, thin JR soles that I got. A friend of mine had ordered it and use it, and they sent it to me. And these are good for lady soles, but in this case, we're going to use it for a midsole. And then put JR soles above it. These are factory nails that are in there. Fiberglass shank, and that's it. There's really not much to this design. So this pair is still original. It hasn't been molested. We still got the original soles, original Florsheim heels. We're going to keep this one, the shape of it, so we can duplicate it for both of them, all three of them. This one, the other one was repaired. It was sanded down so much that it's lost its shape. So this is no good. And this is basically thinner that we apply to the sole to loosen the glue. Now I see so many of you guys are just pouring this thing all over the whole sole. Unless there's holes here, this doesn't penetrate through the sole unless you sit there for 2 days pouring it on there, letting it absorb. Proper way is applying it on the edges only, because that's where the glue and the stitches are. Like that. No need to pour it all over the sole. It's a waste of material. Let it heat up a little bit. That'll loosen the glue, and then you can cut your sole off. But you can do whatever you want. I just think it's a waste of material. Waste of thinner. Or whatever you guys want to call it. Now the third pair This is a 10D, okay? And the rest are 9.5. So this is going to be a pretty big job. We're going to replace this front piece, vamp piece right here, because of it's been butchered up before. It's been repaired. And we're going to replace this top binding right there. Obviously full soles and heels and everything else that goes along with it. So this is going to be the challenge one. I'm going to change the size and replace the vamp. All right, let's continue. All right, see this back piece right here? Once this back piece comes off, and we have a center seam, hard to tell right there. We're going to take that center seam, we're going to remove a little bit, stitch back the center seam, put this back on, and put a new binding on the top. That'll change the size to 9.5. Nope, we will not be using a last to do that. Is that a necessity? It'd be nice to have one exact same size, but we'll have to make it, I guess, in order to make it the same shape as that, which we don't have. Your friend is outside. There's 2 rows of stitches on this. So just cutting one stitch doesn't remove it, okay? Because what they've done is that put the piece of leather, stitch it, fold it over, and go down just a little bit lower and stitch another stitch. So you got to take both stitches out in order for you to be able to remove that binding away from there. All right, so this is what we call French binding, okay? We have it on the top part of the vamp area. Okay, just like that. The leather gets stitched first, and then fold it over. And the lining comes on top. Got a nice finished edge. That's what we call French binding. So when we do a new one, we're going to reuse the lining. It's still in good shape. Try to keep as much as we can of the original. We're going to replace the vamp. We're going to replace the French binding. And we're going to continue. All right, we've got our leather stitched. Simply, we're going to fold it over. We've got small pieces here to reinforce those corners. That's why it tore right there, because it did have a reinforced corner, but it wasn't to the edge where the stress would be. And that's what we call French binding. Okay, see that black edge? Beautiful. I put some creases in here just to kind of make it look like it's broken in. I'll do that more once I go ahead and stitch it on, so it won't look so flat and new. Of course, we've got to touch up the color a little bit to blend that in with the rest of the shoe. One's new, one's old. It's going to make a difference. So we're making progress. Let's continue. Voila. Now once we put that back together, that'll be correct size. All right, we got the back piece stitched together. We put the heel counter back in. Yes, that's a heel counter. I cut my finger. It's the worst place to cut. And we get to put this back to where it was. Alright, now we just change the size. Beautiful. We'll put the 2 row stitches, double row stitches there. We'll put the top binding. Then we'll go ahead and stitch our new vamp on. And she'll be ready for soling. All right, let's continue. This is the structural support that you put in there so it doesn't lose its shape. There she goes. All right, so here's an update. I stitched the uppers and I didn't like it. I took it back apart. Had a little damage on one of the holes here and one of the holes there, which is not going to work. So I took it apart. I'm going to redo that one. I walked away from it. I needed a little bit of break. So I took apart 2 pairs. This is 1 pair. I'm not gonna show you guys taking it apart. Everybody knows that. Everybody's seen that before. Everybody does the same thing. The second pair is going to be with the footbed. Okay. This one's going to have light color split welt, 2 layers of light color split welt, full sole, house leather, 2 layers of wedge, and a small mini ripple sole, rubber sole, black with a light color edge. This one is going to be your basic JR soles, dovetail heels, okay? And this one here, this is for Asuka. So we're doing JR soles, new sock liner, dovetail heels, double row brass nails, V-cleat, wood grain finish, reinforce the heel counter. So yeah, there's a little mushy back here. We're going to open that up, put something underneath it. It's your basic full sole and heel job, you know. Now, the 4th pair, or one of the pairs, this one here, we're going to dye these blue, again with the light color natural welt JR soles. And also this one has a matching belt. We're going to match blue to that. And the same customer also has this pair, the Sears pair. We're going to do light color welt on those two. So we're making progress. Everybody asks what kind of coffee I drink. This is what I drink. And that was it. Basically, it's fine powder. Put it in a kettle. It'll start rising up. You take it off the flame. You stir it. You do that about 3 times, and you're ready. This is what we call black gold. That's coffee time. Got to be careful, because if it rises, sometimes it rises too fast, and if you miss it, it will spill over. It's always good to have a little snack with the coffee. Now, I had to make some adjustments to the coffee kettle because it was spilling too much. Got little marks on there. So I adjusted it so now it won't be spilling when I'm filling it. Let's continue. Just going to give it a light coat here as a base coat to dull down that brown. We thinned down the blue a little bit, because if I didn't, then it would be like almost like a black shade once it would dry. So I thinned it out a little bit. Again, we just have to kind of lighten the shade of brown. Then we can work with the blue shade once this has a base coat that is darker than the brown, obviously. All right, let's continue. You got to make sure that you get the dye in all the little holes, because you don't want the brown to show after you dyed it. Looks good. We'll let that dry and make sure that all the holes are filled with the navy blue dye. If we need to touch it up, we'll touch it up again. All right, so we are done with dismantling everything and taking things apart. Still got to work on that one. I'll let that one dry thoroughly. Now we get to start stitching the welt on. How fun is that? Not really. Let's continue. All right, so it turns out that I need a last. I tried to do one without the last, was not very successful. I wasn't happy with it. So I found an old pair. I reshaped it the same size as the shoe, and then took another piece of shell cordovan, re-stretched it. This is exactly the same shape as what we need it now. All we do now is cut it, punch the holes, stitch it, and continue the process of bringing these back. All right, let's continue. All right, so it's looking good. Now, don't be concerned about the color too much because we'll tint that a little to blend that in. This is what the original shoe looked like, which is very close to what that is. But we'll put some we'll put a little bit of airbrush black dye in it just to blend that surface. And once it gets done, we'll remove the shoe tree and we'll bend the shoe to give it some creases to match the other one. So we're getting there. Let's continue. we are making progress. This is the one that got replaced. The color is much better now. Sprayed a little bit of black on there. The second pair of Yumas, we've got our midsoles on. The third pair of Yumas, midsoles on. These are the ones that are getting the blue soles. The welt is stitched on, the cork is in, wooden shank. Original wooden shank was in good shape, so we left it. This one is the platform, or the hybrid that we're doing. Welt's on there, we're gonna leave a natural edge. No cork just yet. This pair here was gonna have the reinforced heel counter. Once I took it apart, I had to remove the, their French binding. It's a pain in the ass to do, but you know what, it had to be done. It was kind of cracked and falling apart. I didn't feel like taking the lining out of the way to get to the heel counter and leave all that. So once we go ahead and finish stitching that on there, we'll touch up the color and we'll go ahead and put the welt on this one. What else we got? This is the blue one. Wait. This is the blue one. It doesn't look blue now, but it will. We'll lighten that shade a little bit. Along with the belt, we still got to do the welt, but I want to finish the uppers before I do anything on this one. So we're going to leave a natural edge on there so it doesn't look so, it doesn't mess up the welt when we're doing it. This one is still, we still have to get to this one. This one's got the footbed. Also black, it's going to get black, it's going to get black welt. So we're not going to leave this one natural. This brown one's going to have a dark brown welt. So, also just a quick update. Some people were asking me about my boots that I made. How are they holding up? Now, I've been wearing them just about almost every day with no conditioners, no nothing. Just brush them up once in a while. I think they're holding up pretty good. Heels aren't too worn, just a little bit. So everything's good. All right, so if you remember in the beginning, I told you guys I was going to use these JR soles for these Yumas, but it turned out they were a little bit too short, so I couldn't use it. So I just wanted to let you guys know that's the reason. I know somebody's going to say, hey man, you told us you're going to use the JR and you didn't. That's the reason. So we're making a lot of progress. All the Yumas are ready to be stitched and the soles to be glued on. The rest of them, all the welt stitched on, cork, shank. The only one that doesn't get a shank is this one here, because we're doing the wedge sole on this one, which is the hybrid. These are done. It's got the 5 or 3 rib shanks. It's got these monsters inside. This one's done. These are done. Now I'm going to touch up the blue a little bit. Let's see if we can focus it. But it's looking pretty good actually. The color is on point. And with the edge, with the light color edging, I think it's going to look really nice. All right, so we're making progress. All these got new welts also. So we're getting there, little bit by sure, little by little, it should be done. So hopefully next time I see you guys, we'll put the finishing touches on it. All right, let's continue. We've got like 16 hammer times, and I'm not going to do all of them for you guys. I'll do one maybe. All right, it's hammer time. Yeah, I think it was just kind of overdoing hammer time in one video 16 times, 16 shoes. Nah, ain't gonna do that. Now, you all might think that I'm just hammering it away, right? But there's a pattern that I follow. The first being is the shank right here, that curvature of that last. I get that first, okay? And then I move the shoe back. It fills up this area here. Then I hammer that at an angle a little bit, okay? And then I go to pull the shoe all the way over, go to the toe, and then keep going, coming back. Going back to the heel. The center is the most important right here. It gives that structural support. And that's it. It's getting there. All right, let's continue. Let me show you guys this one, okay? Stitched it. Added that one lift there. You see that? And then we do the other one now. After the second one is sanded and prepped, the sole comes on. All right, that gives it a nice balance. 2 layers is good enough. She's getting there. All right, let's continue. All right, so let me show you guys. This is the sole. This is called the Vibrant Mini Ripple, okay? Now what we're gonna do, we unstitched that much of the toe. When we go ahead and, wrong side. When we go ahead and glue this on here, we're going to stitch that toe area right there. What happens with rubber soles is that it always gets caught on things at the toe and it always peels back. So this is going across the world, these shoes. Not even across the pond, past the pond. It's going to Australia. So I don't want to have any issues while the shoe is there with the toe peeling back. Obviously you can't send them back just to have them touched up. So I'll tell you guys a story about the shoes a little later on. Nice. Okay, one more time. Hammer time. Oh Lord. Gonna look cool. I have a pair just like this. This is where the guy got the idea from. Some people like it, some people don't. You know, it really doesn't matter. To each his own. You know, he likes it, he wants it, and we're gonna do it the way he likes it. All right, let's continue. All right, here goes nothing. Not bad, not bad. Crunched it up a little bit closer here. You guys see that? But it seems to have hit all the holes. All right, not too bad. All right, let's continue. Shifu. Can you see it? Lulu, look who's here.
Oh, that's Old Faithful.
So we got a friend come every day about this time, and we give him some food. So we nicknamed him Old Faithful because he comes every day about the same time. We got some food for him right there. I don't think he likes this food though, because, come on boy. Come on, there you go. I guess he likes it. Where are you going? He comes and he has his little snack and then he leaves. So we nicknamed him Old Faithful, huh, Lulu?
Yes, sir.
Why is that? Because he comes every day, same time?
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Lulu? Say hi to everybody, brother.
Hello.
Oh, now you're shy now, huh?
Hello.
All right, let's continue. Oh, look who's back. Uh-oh, there's another one. Maybe he brought his girlfriend. Hey, you best not be shitting in my truck. I see you. That one's busy eating over there. All right, I'll get you better food next time. Don't crap on my truck. Let's not continue. All right, so these belong to one customer. He's an Armenian fellow like myself. And I thought I'd do something a little special for the bottom of the soles for him. Now, our flag colors are red, blue, and orange, the Armenian flag. So I figured that I would do red on one, blue on the other, and orange on number 3. Red, blue, and orange, just like the Armenian flag. Thought that was kind of cool. All right, let's continue. All right, welcome back. We are done with all this project. Now, let me tell you guys something. This was very cool to do. It was a lot of work, a lot of details involved, but it was very cool to do. Now, one thing that I want to tell you about these shoes, I told you guys, there's a story behind, okay? Some time ago, somebody made a comment on one of my videos. I can't remember where it was, and it said, Steve's always busy, he's always backlogged. And someone commented, said, yeah, but he's had my shoes for 2 years now. I'm like, what are you talking about, 2 years? I don't think I have anything that long. Anyway, I get in touch with the guy. I said, what's going on? Who are you? What's your name? What shoes are you talking about? He said, I sent you over a pair of shoes approximately 2 years ago, and I hadn't heard back. I said, okay, let me get your information, and let me see what I can find. So it turns out that he purchased it online and had the seller send it to me directly without his information in the shoe. So I had no idea who it belonged to. Sat on the shelf, collected dust until he got in touch with me 2 years later. Now he's from Australia. So I'm like, all right, we found your shoes. That's it. He goes, that's it. So he was so excited. Unfortunately, the excitement didn't last too long because he said that due to unforeseen circumstances, he's not going to be able to afford the rebuild. And he asked me to donate the shoes to somebody, whoever was interested. I'm like, can't do that. So I did exactly what he asked for, and I'm going to gift these to him. He doesn't know yet. If he's watching the video, he might know, but I'll get a hold of him. We're going to box this up and ship it to Australia for him and surprise him. All right, I think he'll be happy. These turned out pretty cool. Very cool. Florsheim hybrids. All right, so everything turned out great. These are the only ones that were not Florsheim. So my title, it'll say 7 pairs of Florsheim redoing. And I think everything turned out good. I'm very happy. And thank you guys for joining me. I appreciate you. Thumbs up, comment, subscribe, share. Do all the good things that you can do to grow the channel. And if you have any question, email me, please, betos@yahoo.com. Please include some pictures of what you have. That way we can kind of get to the bottom of the question right away instead of going back and forth like 4 or 5 times emails before you get to the source of the issue. So I would greatly appreciate that. All right. Once again, thank you, and we'll see you guys again on the next project. Take care.